Kevin, I'm gonna make a little video here. We'll see how this goes. Back in August when we were with you guys, we were talking about doing things for our health and doing things to feel better. And you asked me, we're talking about the yoga that I do, and you asked me if I would make a video of it for you. My voice is kind of croaky this morning because last night was Wednesday, and But anyway, you thought that if it was me showing you how to do it, that you would be more likely to benefit from it than going online and finding some yoga teacher. So I'm gonna make an attempt. It's kind of hard to set up the video to where you can see everything that you need to, because you can barely see my mat here, and you only get a front view. But so this will be the first video that I attempt here. This is the standing series of the primary series of Ashtanga Yoga, and with modifications. And keep in mind that all of this is about listening to your own body, recognizing its limitations. Those limitations, as I know from my own experience, they will change with practice. And Sri K. Patabi Joyce, the Indian man, famous yoga teacher who pioneered this particular school of yoga, he always said, practice and all is coming. And that's what it boils down to. Not doing anything perfect, but just continuing to practice, because your body and your mind will work together to work out the kinks and come to a better place. And so there's nothing that can't be modified at any point in this practice. If you need to bend your knees, bend your knees. If you need to get down on your knees, to do a push-up or whatever, get down on your knees. Listen to what your body is telling you. There are these things in this yoga practice that are called bandhas, and that means locks. And that's something that you'll also get more used to as you go, and you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to keep concentrating. Oh, am I engaging the bandhas? You just do them as you think about them, or as you get more used to them, because it's probably more important to learn the moves and continue to work with them than it is to do the bandhas. But what the locks do is they actually help you build heat in your body, and they also, in some cases, protect you. One of the bandhas is the abdominal lock, and it's basically just pulling in your gut slightly. You don't really clench it hard. You just kind of tighten it, and that helps to protect your lower back. Another one of the locks is the perennial lock, and that's basically you just squeeze your junk like you're going to the bathroom and stop the flow in the middle of it. But probably the one besides the abdominal lock that you're going to get the most good out of is the throat lock, or breath lock, which is when you're breathing, you just slightly constrict your throat. Like, it's kind of like if you're whispering, but you don't want to do like a full-on whisper, because that's not actually good for your voice, and I know all about that now. In fact, I had to stop doing the throat lock for most of the last year because of the problems I was having with my voice. But what the throat lock does for you is it helps you to concentrate, for one thing, and it kind of modifies the flow of your breath. Now you can skip through all this first part where I'm talking about this stuff when you do this, and just skip through it because you're probably not going to want to listen to that every time. But you create this sound when you're breathing. It's like a little bit of an audible hiss. So it's like this. I don't know if you'll be able to hear this or not. Okay, so that's some general information. One thing I like about this particular practice, it's not like so much yoga on the internet where you just have to, every single time you have to be with an instructor, and that way they keep you dependent on them because they're changing what they do every time. Ashtanga, and when I learned it in 1995 from Men's Health magazine, that was how I got started on it, and it really, so I've been doing it, and I always go back to this particular practice whatever I've messed around with yoga. And the actual primary series of Ashtanga Yoga is an hour and a half long, and so only people who are really, really into it have time to do that. And it's been a long time since I've even attempted to go through the entire primary series. I just do a modified version of it, but I usually do most of the standing postures because you start with this series of standing postures, and when you do all of them, it takes about a half an hour. But then you go on to seated postures, and you do these movements called vinyasa in between, and the vinyasa, and you actually have vinyasa in the standing series too, because you make these little movements between postures that flow one posture into another, and it's like each vinyasa erases the thing you just did and prepares you for the next. But it also helps to generate heat, and generating heat in your body is a big part of the benefit that you get. So you're not just stretching, you're also contracting, which helps build strength in your muscles, and your breathing, and all of that together creates heat, which helps with the stretching aspect. It helps to protect your muscles and keep you from hurting yourself. So always listen to your body. Never go farther than you feel like going at that point in time. And what I did when I first started was I just took first I learned the warm-ups, and I just practiced the warm-ups for a week, and then the second week I added a couple of postures, and then I added a couple more, and just kept on building on that. So I was building up with my knowledge of what I was doing, so I didn't have to always consult the page that had the pictures, but I also was building up my stamina and self-awareness. Okay, I'm going to try to lead you through some of the warm-up postures of the standing series of the standing postures of the primary series of Ashtanga Yoga. So our first posture is mountain pose. I'm not going to go through and name all the postures, but mountain pose is a real important one, and you come back to it over and over again. And basically, you put your feet together. I wish you could see my feet on the mat, but because what you do with your feet is important. But you just try to stand as tall as you can. Relax your shoulders. Maybe pull them back a little bit. Draw in your pelvis and tighten your thighs. Just contract them, not like super contracted, just mildly contracted. And in all of the postures in the standing series, you keep on trying to remember to contract your thighs, because it protects you as you're stretching your hamstrings. And in a lot of this standing series is about stretching your back body, but it also generates heat. So we just begin in mountain pose. Breathe in and out through your nose as much as possible, but sometimes you can't because of your allergies. For mountain pose, lift your hands to the ceiling over our head and look up. Then we bring them down and we fold at the waist. You bend your knees if you need to. Bring your hands down, fingertips to the ground. And breathe in and look up. Then you step, as you exhale, you step back into the top of a push-up. You need to put your knees down too. And then you lower yourself to the ground, your chest hovering just above the ground, knees down if you need to. And then you roll your toes under and come up into a back bend where you're looking up. Keep that abdominal lock tight to protect your lower back. And then you come, so that was on an inhale. On an exhale, you come up into downward dog. Now, you probably can't see this very well, so I'm going to demonstrate from the side. See how this goes. My phone is ringing in the other room. I didn't even know it was on. Okay. Hey, I could actually realize I could do this from the side. Okay. Look up. Exhale, look down. Inhale. Look up. Exhale. Down. Inhale. Look up. Exhale. Downward dog. And so you're pushing back against your calf muscles, basically. Contracting your thighs. And you take 5 deep breaths. And you're looking back, gazing past your shins. You look up, you step or walk up like this. And you look up, and then exhale, look down and fold down. Keep those abdominals pulled in a little bit to protect your lower back, and bend your knees if you need to. Then on an inhale, you come up, look up, exhale, back down into Samastiti, which is mountain pose. Okay, so that's the first one. I'm trying to decide now whether to continue from the front or the side. Okay. We're going to, so that's one sun salutation A. Like, good morning, sun. This is the second one. Inhale, look up, raise your hands up. Exhale, fold at the hips, down to your feet. Inhale, look up. Exhale, step back, lower into a push-up, lower push-up position. Inhale, look up. Exhale, downward dog. Five deep breaths. Inhale, you can walk like this. Look up. Exhale, look down, fold at the hips. Just kind of hang there a little bit, but bend your knees probably because they're probably pretty tight at this point. Contract your abs. And inhale, come all the way back up. Look up. Exhale, Samasthiti. Take a deep breath, maybe catch your breath because you've been working to get through that, or because you've been talking. Sun salutation A, third repetition. Look up, exhale, look down, inhale, look up, exhale, lower yourself to the floor, inhale, look up. Now, a word about that. Like the really full way of doing upward dog, which is that posture where you're doing that upward back bend, is you're actually holding your knees a little bit above the floor. But that, of course, takes a lot of using the strength all through your torso and your thighs to contract so that you're not hurting your lower back. So it's perfectly okay to have your knees down on the floor. Just listen to your body and don't overextend yourself. Okay, so we're back in. We're inhaled, upward dog. Exhale, roll your toes under and lift up into downward dog. Take 5 breaths. Inhale, walk or step up between your hands, look up, keep back, straighten your back. Exhale, fold at the hips, look down. Inhale, contract your abs, your thighs, come all the way up, look up, reach up. Exhale, Samasthiti. Okay, we're going to do one more of those because I've been doing so much pausing in the middle of it. So I'm going to go to the side again. I'll lead you through another repetition of sun salutation A. These sun salutations, they build up heat in the body. They're great. You could just do a bunch of these and have a pretty good yoga session. Exhale. Inhale, look up. Exhale, step back. Lower yourself to the ground. Inhale, roll your toes under. Back, bend backwards, look up. Exhale, roll your feet under and come into downward dog. Take 5 deep breaths. Feel the stretch in your calves and the bottom of your feet. Now, if you need to, there are ways of modifying this position, because this might be a hard one to get into early on. Like, you might just have to be on your hands and knees, for instance. Or if you can get up here, you might just be, your back of your legs might be so tight that you have to bend your knees a little bit. Okay. One last inhale and exhale. Then walk or step up between your hands, or as far up as you can get. Look up, exhale, look down, inhale, look up, reach up, exhale, mountain pose. Okay, now we're going to do sun salutation B, and it's a extended and more rigorous version of the sun salutation that really starts to build heat. Right. So from mountain pose, you look up once again, but this time you bend your knees into a little bit of a squat. You're looking up like that. Okay, so let's do that again. Look up. Inhale. And then as you exhale, you go like this. And you fold again. Inhale. Look up. Exhale. Walk or step back into plank pose. Maybe take a breath if you need to. And exhale. Lower yourself down again. Inhale. Look up, back bend. Exhale. Push back into downward dog. Inhale. Now you step up with your right foot between your legs, or as far as you can get it. Because when people are first doing this, a lot of times they can maybe only step up part way. And then what you do, you can see my back foot. So when you step up, it's basically forward. You rotate it about a 45-degree angle. So it's kind of pointing off that way. It's just partly rotated. It's not all the way 90 degrees, but like that. Okay. So go through that move again. And downward dog. I step up and inhale. Turn the back foot in. Now I come up. I reach up over my head like this, and I'm bending my front leg. And I want it to be as best I can, as close to 90 degrees as I can get it. That's going to take probably practice. And you're feeling a little bit of a stretch along the front of your back thigh because of that rotation of your foot. So this is all one breath. But of course, when you're first doing it, you might not be able to do it all in one breath. Look up. Now you bring your hands back down beside your foot. You can't see it, but my toes, my foot is no longer rotated. I'm up on my toes. And then you step back into plank position again. Lower yourself to the ground. Look up. Look down. Go up into downward facing dog. Now you do the same thing with the other side. Step forward. Rotate your back foot inward a little bit. On an inhale, look up, you reach up. Come back down. Step back. Lower yourself to the ground. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Roll your toes back under and push back into downward facing dog, whatever modification of it you might be in. Take 5 breaths. And this is kind of downward dog is always, once you get used to this, I really like it because it's kind of a recovery pose. You get a chance for a few breaths to not have to work so hard. Then inhale, walk or step forward, look up, straighten your back. Exhale, pull down, bend your knees if you need to. Inhale, come back up to that slight squat position. Exhale, Samasi. Okay, let's try Sun Salutation V, Surya Namaskar V. That's the Sanskrit name. Let's try it again with a little less talking on my part. Mountain pose. Inhale, look up, bend your knees, reach up. Exhale, fold at the hips, hands to the ground. Inhale, look up, straighten your back, stretch your back legs a little bit. Exhale, walk or step back. Take a breath if you need to. Exhale, down to the ground. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, step forward. Turn your back foot out 45 degrees. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands back down to the ground. Step back. And exhale. That's all part of one. Exhale. Inhale, hook up. Exhale, push back into downward dog. Inhale, step forward with your left foot. Turn your right foot out 45 degrees. Keep it as flat as you can on the mat. Inhale, look up. Bend your knee. Exhale. Hands to the ground, step back. Push up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. Take 5 breaths. Inhale, exhale. Okay, let's do one more round of sun salutation B. Inhale, look up, bend the knees. Exhale, fold the hips, head down. Inhale, look up. Exhale, step back, lower to the floor. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, right leg forward. Look up. Exhale, downward dog. Wait a second. Not down dog. That's just down to the floor. Okay. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left foot forward. Exhale, lower yourself to the ground. Inhale, upward dog. Keep that middle contracted. Exhale, downward dog. 5 breaths. Inhale, walk or step forward. Look up. Exhale, look down. Inhale, look up, bend your knees. Exhale, Samsiti. Okay, and that's where we're going to stop with this video. And hey, look, Nancy's home. What? I'm making a recording of a part of my yoga workout for Kevin's benefit.